Welcome to Trading Lounge and the Bitcoin and Ethereum report for the 5th of March. So, yesterday we were looking at the market like this with wave 4 low being in place with wave 1 and 2 and then 1 and 2. But I won't be able to do that now because I can see that wave 2 here is actually much larger than the time it took for wave 1 to get up through there. So we've got two ways to look at this now. We can go back to our original way of looking at this with all of this down here as wave A, bringing wave C over here and wave 4 over here. So this becomes wave A here and this becomes wave B here. And then we come down for wave C coming down through here. There'll be a bit of a bounce off here, but essentially looking for 5 waves coming down for ETH closer to 1,000. So that's a real possibility of this, and it's possible to count this up here. I can count this in 2 ways here, but just an A and a B and a C wave for the B wave here. So this is looming over us at the moment, okay? And this would be the same for Bitcoin as well. This would be the account here. So the A wave, the B wave, and the C wave for wave 4. Now there is still a chance that the market can push up from here. If it was going to push down from here, I was thinking that Ripple executives are going into battle with the SEC today. That might have some sort of bearing on the outcome of things as well. So keep an eye on that. So we can look at it as an A wave, a B wave, and a C wave down here. The other way we could look at this too is that it's still possible to look at this as wave 1 up here with wave 2 coming back into this space, because when we look at this here, we can look at this as 1 and 2 in here, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 for the 3rd wave, the 4th wave, and the 5th wave here. We'll take a closer look at that on the tick chart, but just before we go there, we'll just put this in here roughly. So we wouldn't want to see this market find this low here, this 1430th, the retested resistance here, because then we know that we'll be heading lower at that point. Okay, so let's just get that into play here. So the 1430, close enough. So if that becomes the retested resistance, then you will know that first low under the levels, then you'll know that that's confirmed to the downside at that point. This can still spike down through here a little bit to finish off that. Then it can push up from that point based on that. So if we look at that on the tick chart here just for a moment, 100 ticks, bring a bit more data in, she did the trick. Yeah, so this is the little wave I was calling up here as wave 1 and 2 in here. Bit of a long shot, I know, and then 5 waves up for 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 5 for the 3rd wave, 4th wave, and the 5th wave here for wave 1. The other way to look at this, of course, is the A wave up to here, the B wave here, and the C wave here for this wave B here. This move down through here is a little bit difficult to count because we can see that these highs here, they're really sort of, they're overlapping the previous trends down. So they look a little bit corrective in that regard, but I mean, the other way to count this is down for 1 here, back for 2, down for 1 to this point, an A, B, C for 2 here, then down for 1, an A and a B and a C, back for 2, then 1 and 2 and 3. So it can work down further. I mean, it has got these really high retracement levels that sort of overlapping their previous lows here. So I can see that there's buyers wanting to be in there. But yeah, it's just a little bit tricky to count. It's not like a perfect 5 waves down here in this case. You know, it's not like that. It's like these everything's like pushing back. All these highs here are pushing back up really high here, creating, moving below their previous lows here, moving above their previous lows, creating that overlapping wave structure. So that could be counted as corrective, or a much larger impulse wave moving to the downside in terms of ones and twos. So we need to be a little bit careful. So that 1430 here, as I mentioned, which is the top of group 1, then that will play out, that as resistance here will be the catalyst for that. So even just looking at this here, I can look at this as 1 here and 2 here and 3 here and some sort of wave 4 in here. So we should go below here. Obviously the 15 is going to offer some support here, but still we should just push down here, and then hopefully we can push back up here to move into the long side going up here. But a little bit of a long shot with all of this, so I don't really know. I thought that yesterday, I thought that we were going to be moving to the upside with all of this, but once this move here started to display weird stuff and come back below at 61.8%, then I knew that we've got a problem. So there's an equal chance of it now being wave B or wave 1 here for this. So yeah, if it plays down here into the box here and then finds support on the 1500, then we can go long from that point. Okay, so yeah, just coming back here for this and just sort of recapping it with ETH here for a moment. It's possible to count it up as wave 1, but that's sort of stretching it a little bit based on the first little wave structure here, but possible. So we'll need to see this push up. So if it was going to push up, then probably a high up here could do that. But as I mentioned, if you want to play a higher risk, if the market does come down through here and then develop a nice tested support on top of this level here, then by all means look to go long at this point here. It may not be that safe because these highs are coming into quite high here and they may still play out like that. But yeah, just see if it breaks that trend line through there as well. That would also be an indication that the market would move up from that point. But point being is we really need to bring in this B wave now to give it an equal chance at things, and that would make this the A wave, the B wave and the C wave at this point. So we can come down further for this. That's unfortunate. Well, I mean, it's good and bad, but just depends on what you're doing. I mean, I just felt that we were going to be pushing up. So the Bitcoin one here as well, we can look at this. It's kind of interesting, this one here, because even though this is the bearish pattern here, it may not be the case in this regard. It does appear that we've got some sort of 5-wave structure down here, also a little bit sort of not very smooth. So roughly the 61.8% will be back at the 50,000 here. So it can retest that and then drop from there. But because that's roughly the 50-60% retracement level, if that becomes the support, then we can go long again. And also too is that we've got a classic trading levels pattern sitting here as well. So if we just have a look at this for a moment, we've got the arrival, the reaction, the first high above the level, and then we're in this space here. And then we're thinking about getting back in over here for that. So if that's the 50,000 across here, we've got most of this playing out here already. We've got the arrival, the reaction, the first high above the level, and then this move here. But can that be counted as corrective? That's the question. So just coming back to the 4-hour chart here and looking at that classic trading levels pattern, and we've talked about it before because I've obviously talked about it over here with that in that regard. Whoops, daisy. Like that. So the arrival, the reaction, the first high above the level. So we've got that, the arrival, the reaction, the first high above the level. Will we get the rest of it? Will we get the other side to the other side of this here? So, you know, will we get that push up from there? And if that's the case, then we'll push up into this space here, up into the 58,000, the old high here again as well, which will help create the wave 4 at that point, and so on at that point. So is this the case? I really don't know, because there's a case now that we could look at this as the A wave, the B wave, and the C wave, and then this down for 1 here, coming back for 2 here, and then having 3, 4, and 5 here, as mentioned in this on this chart here with this. So that's also possible now. It's good for me because it gives me a chance to increase my buying opportunities in this space here. So I'm kind of looking forward to that. But at the same time, I was a little bit sad because I thought that we'd kind of had this, but I kind of knew in the back of my mind too that this correction here, if we go back to the daily chart here, was just a little bit small for this. So if this was the wave 4 of 1 lesser degree, which should be smaller. So I think in terms of fractals, you know, so this wave 4 is a fractal, this wave 4 is a fractal, but this wave 4 is bigger, 1 degree higher than this one here. So this one here should be bigger. You know, this one should be bigger than this one. That's what I'm thinking, you know. So for that to play out, we'd be looking at wave 4 coming in over here, being a little bit larger at that point. You know, we talked about this originally, but I'm just going back over it. So yeah, anyway, that's that. So from the 4-hour chart here, we can just go to the 4-hour chart again, and then we're just going to go to the 1-hour chart here for this. And this would be the wave 4 low here, looking at this, and a bit hopeful having the wave 1 here, I have to say, and wave 2 here. But let's just see how this plays out. In this regard here, we can look at this low here. That's at 46,700. If that becomes the retested resistance, then you know that that would be going down further from that point, and you've got yourself a short trade at that point. At least that's one thing. You know, is this 5 waves down here? Yeah, it can count reasonably well as 5 waves. It's a little bit dodgy, but basically the wave 1 in here with an A and a B and a C wave for wave 2 here, and the wave 3 here for this. This behavior in here is a little bit like this, so I suppose we need to look at this as the A wave, the B wave, and the C wave here for this one. And then down here, so it does sort of presenting 5 waves. I'm not sure if that's actually finished just yet for that, but probably not. And then an A and a B and a C wave coming back up here, and then looking to come down at that point. So if it finds support here, then we can look to go long on that support with a smaller classic trading levels pattern sitting on here for this. Just going into the tick chart. So yeah, there's a good case of looking at this as the A wave, the B wave, and the C wave. Yesterday I was looking at it as possible wave 1 and 2 here, then wave 1 and 2 here. But as soon as it broke the 49,000, then it was pretty much over at that point for that. So yeah, and making heads or tails of this is a little bit tricky. So I know we got 5 waves here. Then it gets a little bit dodgy in here and up here. So that looks like 5 waves to me. This looks like 3 waves. So I think that we need to look at this. We could look at it as an A wave, but wave 1 here and 2 here probably wouldn't go astray. The third wave here, that's up in 3 waves. I'm not sure about that, but that's probably 5 waves here. So that's probably the third wave, and we could probably look at the 4th wave here or here for this. I'm not quite sure about that, so I'll just put it here for the time being, because that would treat this as the same behavior here as what's occurring here for this. And this would be 1 and 2 and 3 here and 4 here. So we'd still see wave 5 come down through here, and then the A, the B, and the C wave up here for that. So it does look like 5 waves down. It's not a very good 5 waves down, and you could probably rearrange that to be corrective as well. But I think it's good to, to understand that currently that would be the 61.8%, I think. Let me just check on that. So if that came, I'm expecting this to come down a bit further. Doesn't have to, we could take it off that low there, but still leaves the 61.8. If it comes lower here, then it makes the 50,000 even closer to that 61.8%, which is just strengthens that number in that regard. So to go long, we would want to see the move up here, and we want that first high above the level. Okay, that's what you're looking for, because that would be at the 61.8%, and then you can look to go long on the second high, or if you can't see that, on this high here. That's the only way that you can go long, and it's the only way that you won't miss out on the trend to the upside as well. Okay, so it's possible to move up. We're looking at the equities to move up. I don't think this has got much to do with the dollar. I know the dollar index is pushing up, but that will push up to about 93 and roll over. Anyway, look, there we go for all of this. So it's possible now that, just to recap this a little bit, that we're going to be moving further over here from wave B down to wave C. So if that's the case here, let's just go back to say the 4-hour chart. Or actually, we can just use the 2-hour chart. It's already set up. Yep, that's about right then, isn't it? Because we just counted little 5 waves down here. Not the best looking 5 waves I've ever seen. And that low may be in, but based on Ethereum and possibly this little in here, we can have a further low in here. Wave 2 and then wave 3 coming back. So I guess the other way to short this too is that, let's just say that we're going to get some sort of ABC pattern here for this. So that means that, and it can drop a bit lower first, but still have that ABC. So, but what you want to do is just draw a line straight through there. Or if you can find the wave B line, that's also shortable at that point. And that will take you down to 40,000 at that point. Alrighty, I'm just going to leave it at that. But they're the 2 counts. Unfortunately, I was hoping it was going to be a little bit cleaner and for this, but I suppose it's pretty damn clear and clean for a wave B to be rallying up there. The wave 5 down here has just been a bit reluctant moving down in 5 waves, but we'll see how we go. And of course, on the long side for all of this, which we just talked about, yeah, we need that classic trading levels pattern there, and taking out these highs here, of course, also creates long trades there as well, but we obviously want to get in there a little bit earlier. Buying on the low here, is that doable? Yeah, but if you did that, I would certainly be getting out at the 50,000 and waiting for support and then moving back in on that. And for us hodlers, it produces another opportunity to buy lower in this space. So that's also good. So everything is good. Okay, cheers.